The Michael Berry Show.
Oh, my goodness, what an embarrassment of riches I have today. We could do 4 hours of radio coming up instead of just a couple. Oh, my goodness. You know, if you don't know what Trump did today, if you are not yet aware, prepare yourself. For those of you who love Trump, this is your day. You are absolutely, positively going to love what happened today. What's really still happening right this minute. I'm going to give you the basics and then we'll go into some more details. Yesterday, Nancy Pelosi puts out the word that she doesn't think the president should have the State of the Union on the 29th because due to the shutdown, there would be compromises in the security. So Department of Homeland Security Secretary Nielsen comes out and says, well, that's just not true. We can make sure that the event is safe. So, well, Secret Service might not be. Secret Service comes out and says, we didn't start preparing for the State of the Union when the shutdown occurred. We knew it was coming a year ago. It's an annual event. We're more than prepared. Well, Dan Bongino goes out publicly, former Secret Service officer and agent, and says, hey, guys, Nancy Pelosi, you owe an apology. You suggested these guys can't do their jobs. You didn't know that to be the case. They've shown you that they can. You should apologize. So the president hadn't really responded. You know he didn't like that. You know he didn't like that at all. So he plotted and he planned. And his response came today. Well, as it turns out, it hadn't been announced publicly, but Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff is the man who has basically promised that he's going to make Trump's life a living hell as a committee chairman. So Nancy Pelosi and her little band of followers were scheduled to take a little trip. I learned a word today that I don't believe I knew before. I'm not even sure how to pronounce it. I've only read it. The word is spelled C-O-D-E-L. Coddle or codal. I don't know. I'm going to say coddle. If you've heard it pronounced and I'm wrong, then so be it. It is short for congressional delegation. It means a junket. It means a trip paid for by the taxpayers or lobbyists, like the Democrats just did to Puerto Rico. Well, it wasn't really known. Nancy Pelosi and this group were headed to Belgium and Afghanistan. Now, it may be the case they were going to Egypt. The president says it's the case. We'll get to that in a minute. And Nancy Pelosi says, well, the only reason they were stopping in Belgium was for the pilot to rest. Well, you know it was junkets. You know this was, this was fine dining and living it up on the taxpayer's dollar. Well, we found out about this trip today because as the members of Congress had boarded the bus, left the Capitol, and were on their way in the bus, headed through the streets, to get to the military transport plane that would take them to Belgium, they were alerted by the press that the president has withdrawn the military transport. Y'all can turn that bus back around and you can come on back to the Capitol because you ain't going anywhere. You want to cancel my speech? I'm canceling your military transport. They've got their bags on the bus. They've got their plans made. They've got their cameras all charged up. They're going to have a heck of a time. Well, no, actually, they're not. The president sends this letter. Dear Madam Speaker, due to the shutdown, I am sorry to inform you that your trip to Brussels, Egypt, and Afghanistan has been postponed. Now, mind you, Nancy Pelosi finds out about this from the press while she's on the bus. How humiliating for her. You know she was raging. We will reschedule this 7-day excursion when the shutdown is over. In light of the 800,000 great American workers not receiving pay, I am sure you would agree that postponing this public relations event is totally appropriate. I also feel that during this period, it would be better if you were in Washington negotiating with me and joining the strong border security movement to end the shutdown. Obviously, if you would like to make your journey by flying commercial, that would certainly be your prerogative. I look forward to seeing you soon, and even more forward to watching our open and dangerous southern border finally receive the attention, funding, and security it so desperately deserves. Sincerely, Donald J. Trump. You know what I like to imagine? I like to imagine that Trump's sitting in the White House with whoever are his closest friends. I don't mean advisors. I mean guys that he really has a good laugh with, right? And I like to imagine me and my buddies at about 12, 13 years old, before you became self-conscious toward girls, before you started trying to act so serious, back when you just laughed and you let it loose, we would call people. This was before caller ID. We would call people and keep them on the phone, and we'd be at one of our houses, and we'd get on the other phones and listen in. And we would call, and we would create elaborate ploys. And when we were done with the call, we would laugh and laugh. I've never laughed so hard in my life since. I like to imagine Trump sitting in the White House, in the Oval Office, and they're drafting the letter. And they're saying, yeah, we're sorry you won't be able to make your trip. No. Excursion. Yeah, make an excursion. Oh, my God. Wait to get... No. Let's not give it to her till the bus is already... Oh, my God, how funny this is going to be.
MichaelBerry.com